Tomorrow is another day. All your worries, leave your side, free your mind.
Yo, what up YouTube? Joe here. This is going to be the introductory video for our channel, Magic Muppets Playing Magic, TCG. Yeah, basically, I'm just going to get started off with the deck tech. I'm going to be playing this deck right here against my friend Zach today. It's basically a take on Star City Games' Omnidoor thragfire, but I've made a few little adjustments and sort of made it quite different with the new cards from gatecrash. So we've got three sort of aspects of the deck. We've got removal right here, just sort of self-protecting spells, so you can see we've got 4 fog here. A lot of people would debate about having a playset of fogs here, but I think it's just really good if you're ramping and you've got 1 land free and you need protection from creatures that are swinging in for big damage next turn. I think it's always good to just have a really efficient 1 cost in there to stop some damage. Now the other removal spells, we've got 4 Terminus. Ideally I'd want to play 4 Verdicts and 3 Terminus. But we don't actually have a 4th Verdict, so I'm just going to go with 4 Terminus. Now if it was against a jummed matchup with a lot of Blood Artists and stuff, I'd probably play 4 Terminus anyway, just to avoid that sort of life loss from them. So that's pretty basic removal. We're hoping to see at least one of these every single game, otherwise it's pretty much gone burgers. And then we've got ramp here. We've got 4 Farseeks, pretty basic, 4 Chromatic Lanterns. A lot of people would also debate about these things, about having 3 of them, but I think having 4 is key if we're going to get up to playing some of these spells that are pretty hard to cast, in terms of Enter the Infinite having 4 blue, Omniscience having 3 blue, Revelation having 2 black, Worldfire having 3 red. I think that's pretty hard to get to unless you've got the Lantern out. I'm going to play 3 Ranger's Path. I think 4's way too chunky. When you've actually ramped up, you don't want to see 1 in your hand afterwards. Yeah, it's pretty basic. We got new cards from Gatecrash here. We got Urban Evolution. Personally, I think it's actually in some ways better than Sphinx's Revelation. It's quite an easy draw 3, and it lets you play an additional land. Chances are that you're going to actually draw an additional land off the 3 that you actually draw. And then we got 2 Temporal Mastery. I actually consider this a ramp spell, because it's not really fixing any other purpose in this deck unless I side in a door. I just think it's nice, 2 costs, take an extra turn, play an extra land. It keeps you 1 step ahead of all the aggro decks, gets you closer to your bombs. And now we got sort of the win con part of the deck. We've got 3 Sphinx's Revelation, one of, if not the best card in Standard at the moment. Basically we're going to ramp up and then end of their turn, Sphinx's Revelation for 4 or 5, draw a bunch of cards, gain a bunch of life, and hopefully hit either a Revelation or some of our win cons here. As soon as we have Revelation up, we'll probably be searching for these 2 cards, Omniscience and Enter the Infinite. Basically Omniscience lets you play cards from your hand for free, and Enter the Infinite basically draw your library. So you can see how these 2 would work in conjunction. We play Enter the Infinite for free because of Omniscience, and then we draw everything here. Now we've got 2 win cons if this goes off. We've got or Bob for short. Basically his ability is discard a land and deal 3 damage to target player. So basically 1 win con is you draw your library, discard about 12 land. That's a good 36 damage to your opponent. I'm pretty sure that'd finish them off. And then if that doesn't work out, we've got thragfire. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You play the Thrag Tusk and then Worldfire. Everything disappears. You get a beast, and it's a 1-turn clock that they can't really avoid. So that's Enter the Swagfire. It's quite a fun deck to play. It can be inconsistent at times, but when it is, it's quite a fun deck to play. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the sideboard. Okay guys, we're here with the sideboard for Enter the Swagfire. Basically, it's a bit of an all-over-the-place sideboard due to just sort of lack of cards. I'll start off with the door. The door's an alternate win con. If they've figured out that you're thragfiring, or they've figured out that you've got Bob in your deck, they actually Slaughter Games can sort of maybe screw you over. So it's nice to sort of have a surprise card that you can board in and they think, oh shit, he actually had a door. And it's just a really good win con. Elixir of Immortality, interesting one. It's probably good against more Esper control decks where they're siding in or just using Drown Yards, and they're going to try and mill your Wincons or try and hit a Diabolic Revelation. And that's also another thing that I would think I could bring in case I wasn't actually seeing enough Revelations in the game and I wasn't really finding my Wincons at all. I think maybe have another one in. That's a debate. A Detention Sphere could be good against stuff like tokens or just having something that's really going to be annoying in a game. I think I won't board it in a lot, maybe unless I'm against something like tokens. If they entreat for 5, I can just get rid of all of them with just 3 mana. It's quite efficient. Rest in Peace, obviously, for zombie decks. Reanimator as well. I think mainly I'm going to be boarding it in against stuff like Drelf's Messenger and Gravecore and stuff like that. Thragtusk, there's another one in there, just because even if I'm not going to use Worldfire, I think it's quite good to keep afloat. It's 5 life and then it's a blocker. Nikki Bobo, I think this is just going to be fantastic against control matchups. If you didn't actually see the land before, I've included his Stomping Ground to make sure I get the red for his hardcasting cost. I played him in my last Omnidoor thragfire deck and he worked out really well as sort of an alternate pressure card, and I think he'll probably do the same. I think it's really good. Gilded Lotus, it's pretty much another standard ramp card. I'm not sure when I'd be boarding that in, it's just sort of there to sort of play test with. And yeah, it could be good, could not be good. Slaughter Games, basically if they've got something that's really annoying, I'm going to Slaughter Games it, because Slaughter Games, they're Slaughter Games, that'd be quite fun. But no, yeah, it's just there if anything's like blatantly screwing over my deck. So it's a pretty average sideboard, I think, but it could be good. So hopefully you'll see some sideboard action against Zach. He's going to be playing junk tokens today. So yeah, keep your eyes out for his deck tech. Peace.